Hugh and Carl join us now to tell us how this app has changed their lives and could make a huge difference to the lives of many other families. A very good morning to you, Hugh.
Good morning, Sybil.
Thanks for coming on, and a very good morning to you, Carl.
Hello. Thank you for having us on your show this morning.
You're very welcome. It's such a cool device that you have developed, you, and fair play to you. And I'm sure this is going to kind of change the lives for so many families out there, for people who suffer from things like Parkinson's, motor neuron disease, people who've had a stroke, not just dystonia. And I'm surprised that it hasn't really been thought of.
Yeah, people who have voice-impaired disabilities.
Yes.
This is a godsend.
Yes.
Where did the idea come from?
The idea came from, up until now, Carl has been using a little book with symbols in it, and pictures that he would point at and show people the picture of what he wanted to talk about or what he wanted to do. And it's not a trendy thing, this little... I have it in my pocket, actually, if I show it to you.
Yeah.
This is a little book here. And if Carl wanted a McDonald's, for talk's sake, he would point at the McDonald's and he would say then what he wanted. He would want a drink of Coke or a burger or whatever he wanted. And this is cumbersome. He didn't like carrying it around with him. And he got an iPhone for Christmas. And I thought, I'd seen the applications myself on different things. Yeah. And I thought there might be some way of making an application for Carl instead of using the symbol book. And that's where it started. And I started thinking about it, and this is what we've come up with.
Now, what exactly is an app? Because I know Martin has an iPhone.
I have an iPhone.
But I mean, a lot of people out there, I imagine, don't, because they're still relatively new and they're expensive as well. And an app is kind of, I mean, I kind of still have difficulty coming to terms with what exactly it is. Well, what does it do? And, like, is it a shortcut to something, or how does it work?
No, I think Apple have called them apps because they're an application to the Apple iPhone. And they're out there for everything, from education to fun and games. I think
TV3 have one now as well, folks. Most programmes on a TV3 application.
Do you have to have an iPhone to have an app, though?
Well, there are different kinds of phones now that will download applications.
Yes.
So it's not just iPhone now, but that is the principal one. That really is
smartphones.
Yeah.
Could you put an app into, let's say, Carl's computer as well, or someone at home's computer, and they could, like a laptop, or does it have to be just on a phone? No,
it has to be on a specific piece of equipment that will accept applications. So Samsung have got a phone that will take applications at present, and I think iPhone's the most popular.
Yes, it certainly is the most popular. And the thing about the phone is it's easier to carry around.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's far easier for Carl to use. But when we think about this, an awful lot of time and effort has to go into it. So how does it work?
For me and Carl, how does it work?
Yeah, for Carl, how does it work? For Carl,
well, unfortunately, Carl can't read or write, so he can't put the application in himself. Sorry, he can't put the sentence or the story or the words into the application or into the phone himself. So myself and my wife do that for him.
Okay.
If he could read or write, he could talk to you a proper conversation by typing in what he wanted to say there and then. But because Carl can't read and write, we have to put the sentences in for him. So myself and my wife can understand Carl from most of the time, and we will put in things that are relevant to his everyday life and everyday needs, and he will prompt us and tell us what he wants to put in, the things that he enjoys doing and likes talking about.
Now, you've had it on his phone, what, for about 2 weeks now?
Yes,
was that it? Okay, so Carl, what difference has it made to your life already, having this device on your phone?
Since I started using the new Talkforme app, it is easier to communicate with people.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Can it be customised?
Yeah.
From person to person?
Yeah, it's an individual library that each person or each individual can make themselves to the things that are relevant to their everyday need and everyday want.
You can take photos
as well. You can take photographs, yeah. You can take a photograph of anything, and it uploads it to the application immediately, and you then can type in whatever sentence, phrase or story you want to tell about that particular picture. Not alone does it do it in English, it'll also do it in over 30 languages.
This I couldn't believe. You were saying that, you know, when you were almost test running it, you were in Spain recently.
Yes.
and you put it to use yourself when you couldn't communicate with the waiter.
Yes.
And it worked.
Yeah, simple. My wife, we were sitting in a little restaurant one morning and she asked for tea and a croissant with jam. And the waiter brought out, and in our broken English, we've no Spanish, but in our broken English, or our best Spanish, and he brought out a pot of tea, a croissant and marmalade. And my wife said, change that for jam, please. I asked him to change it for jam. He couldn't understand us, so I took the phone out of my pocket, took a picture of the marmalade and typed in, could I have strawberry jam, please? And called the guy over and pressed, and he listened to it, and away he went and got us the jam.
And got us the jam.
Yeah.
And so was it difficult to create it, and did you then have to go to Sony or Apple and say, here you go? Were they welcoming to the idea? I mean, was it an easy process to...
Well, once I had the idea, I went to... I found a company in Dublin, based in Dublin, called iWord, and they designed the application for me, because I wouldn't be technical at all. I had the idea, I had the bones of it, I knew what I wanted it to do, and I went to them. I wasn't really sure whether they were able to do it or not, because there were so many different things, like to have different languages and to have it that you could take a photograph and upload it immediately. But I went to them, sat down and had a meeting with them, and they said, yeah, there's no problem, we can do it. But it's going to take a bit of time. So they started work on it, and 6 weeks later they came back with the finished product, more or less. And we tweaked a few things, and they forwarded it then to the Apple iTunes or iPhone store, and they have to pass it. So it took about 3 weeks for them to pass it. They go into the background of it and find out has anyone else got the same application, because there's no point in having two applications the same. Then we got it copyrighted and put it on. It came live on the 11th of August.
This is going to make a massive difference for people who have difficulty, who have a voice impairment of some description. I just can't get over how quick it turned round. So I would imagine there's a cost on it.
Yes.
How expensive is it?
It was expensive. It cost me €8,000 to get the app put together. I don't intend to make a fortune out of it, but if I get my money back from it, I'd be quite happy. If I don't mind, because
you're giving Carl a means to communicate.
Yeah.
And what improvement has it made in your lives having this application?
Well, it's to date now, as I say, we've only been using it 2 weeks, so we haven't seen a phenomenal difference in 2 weeks. But what I do know is Carl does no longer use his book. He's using this instead, and we're building the library of pictures and sentences and stories up on a daily basis. So he's getting the hang of it. And
Carl, what phrase would you use the most so far?
This is Lewis Hamilton. He is my favorite F1 driver.
Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton, yeah. You really have to see the app to see the picture.
Go on.
Because on the...
Can you show it maybe to what camera? Camera one.
Camera one. Just this
show
one
it to
over
this
here.
camera here, yeah.
We've also established, by the way, folks, that Carl is a big sports fan. He's mad about his GAA and sports his Louth jersey from time to time. But I discovered as well that he's a Liverpool fan, so I don't really want to talk to him too much. But you're all right with that, aren't you, Carl? Yeah, he's a Liverpool fan. By the way, and you can see them tonight on TV3 as well. They're playing against Stoke.
OK, hold it up there, Hugh, to camera one.
OK, just 1 sec. Where are we here?
Yep.
That's it.
And so whenever he goes to talk, he presses the talk button.
This is Lewis Hamilton. He is my favorite F1 driver.
And that's it, simple as that.
So you can put a photo to every sentence that you wanted to say as well, yeah?
And to go, that's how, in the actual application, this is how you go through the different pictures of different things that you like and things that are relevant to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Some of my favourite drinks, and he has a list of drinks here.
Yeah.
And then if he wants to pick a particular drink,
yeah,
he presses on it. And I don't know if you want to demonstrate it or not, do you?
Well, we've got it on camera right now.
Okay, so if he wanted a cup of tea, he would press this cup of tea, and up comes a picture of the cup of tea, and then it speaks it.
Could I have a cup of tea with milk and 2 sugar, please?
And just very
That's
quickly,
the way he likes his tea.
That's the way it's the way I like mine as well, Carl. So we've got something in common. To translate into Spanish is very, very simple.
So if I go to, yes, so we're now on the cup of tea, and we go to the languages, and we pick a language.
It does take a second to upload.
Till I find,
do the translation.
Well, it should, yeah. So we've now got it into Spanish, so we go back again, and we talk in Spanish.
¿Me podría dar una taza de té con leche y azúcar 2, por favor?
Good enough for me.
Sounds much more exotic in Spanish, doesn't it? Cheap with 2 milks.
To download it costs how much, Hugh?
It costs €4.99.
$4.99. That can make a massive difference to somebody's life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's a brilliant idea. Well done
Thank
on developing it, and I hope, Carl, it makes life a lot easier for you going forward. And thank you for coming on and demonstrating it for us.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Cheers. Nice to meet you.